Sugar pants. One last call for alcohol, so finish your whiskey or beer. Sugar pants. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Hope you're all having a horrific holiday because it's time for another tumultuous treat. 1987's Mutant Hunt. A bargain basement Blade Runner wannabe involving strung-out cyborgs seeking savage satisfaction. It also marks yet another review of a movie starring Leanne Baker, which I think is just freaking amazing how I keep accidentally stumbling across her. I mean, she only did 7 movies before stepping away from Hollywood, and this one will be the 3rd one I'll have done on the show. And if that wasn't enough, I've got another one coming out in the very near future. At this point, I might as well just make that a challenge for the show. Can I fit in the entire catalog of Leanne Baker movies? Anyway, let's check in with Abraxas with that sleaze docket before I rattle on any longer.
We have 3 dead bodies, 12 dead cyborg bodies, 4 cups blood, 8 cups cyborg blood, 3 naked breasts, giant computers, 80s synth score, goofy futuristic nightclub, corded wall phones, Bluetooth earbuds, sorta, wrist computers, ear-administered narcotics, cyborg flesh-covered Nikes, stretchy arm machete grab, gratuitous mannequin parts, gratuitous footstep sound effects, gratuitous karate kicks, ninja Psy bed wrestling, window chucked cyborg, cyborg armectomy, self-machete handectomy, shotgun butt to the face, crossbow bolt to the chest, broken lamp to the face, machete to the shoulder, laser blast to the shoulder, lumber smashed cyborg face, laser shot arm, head rip decapitation shadow, kicked cyborg balls, 1 human torch, concrete punchery, cartoon ricochet sound effects, blood splatter cock blockery, 1 possum playing cyborg, slow-mo David Lee Roth jump, monologuing bad guy cliche, 1 exploding warehouse, sultry bandage wrap removal, and naked cyborg grinding.
Now, originally I sat down to write up a full walkthrough of this movie, like I normally do, but this is such a basic bitch of a movie, there's really no need. So here's the skinny. It's the not-too-distant future, and cyborgs are a reality of daily life. Z is the obvious leader of Inteltrax, a company that produces said cyborgs. He's discovered that if you inject the cyborgs full of a street narcotic called Euphoron, it makes them murderous killbots. So naturally, he experiments on his newest model that are harder, better, faster, and stronger. Well, maybe not faster, they're actually slow as shit. His lead designer, Dr. Haynes, isn't happy about his work being destroyed, but is detained before he can do anything about it. Fortunately, his sister Darla gets away and runs to hire mercenary Matt Riker. Kinda, sorta sounds like Deckard, doesn't it? Riker, Deckard, Riker, Deckard. While at his apartment, the cyborgs in question attack and we get a whole lot of tighty-whitey-fighty. During the scuffle, they kill his pleasure bot, played by Leanne Baker, who gets a little less than 100 actual seconds of screen time. But she gives us 2/3 of the movie's skin, so... Now that Riker's on the case, he's got to round up a crew, which includes Elaine, who's not only a bounty hunter, but also an exotic dancer in a goofy futuristic nightclub. And then there's Johnny Felix, the team's tech expert. He's got a phone implanted in his ear and also has a bunch of Apple Watches that come with an app that lets them know whenever a cyborg is attempting to murder someone.
There's an app for that!
But while Z is experimenting with his murder bots, there's another threat from a colleague of his, Domina, She's got a taste for Euphoron and dabbles in cyborg creation as well, though she's a little less obvious about it. Most of her scenes are just her hanging out at some unknown location, but she occasionally calls Z since he's the man to see for drugs. She calls him up with information about Riker and his crew in exchange for a shipment.
What do you want, Domina?
Euphoron. 50 kilos. My laboratory tomorrow.
50 kilos? You'll be dead by sundown.
Well, yeah, but you can say that about practically any substance on Earth. Try eating 50 kilos of ground beef.
You'll be dead by sundown.
So with the junkie droids posing a tepid threat at best, our team sets out to kick and punch the bastards back to the scrap heap. Why the fuck they don't use guns when we very early on prove how damn useful they are, I don't know. Because the fight choreography is goofy as hell and hardly entertaining. Unless you consider this a slapstick comedy. Because at that point, it's fucking entertaining as shit. There's an ounce or two of detective work as Elaine tracks down Euphoron shipments hoping to find some leads. But most of the movie's advancement comes when the murder app alerts our crew to a fight in progress. They show up, fight for a while, and destroy a gooey cyborg. Oh, I forgot to mention, the narcotics cause the bots to mutate in gooey ways. So if you were wondering why Mutant Hunt applied to cyborgs, well, there you go. Along the way, Domina's right-hand cyborg gets the drop on Riker and takes him prisoner. Domina has him tied up and implants a bomb in his neck.
What, we some kind of suicide squad?
Why does she do this? Because she thinks Riker will give up Darla and she can use her to trade for all of Z's Euphoron shipments. But the scene goes absolutely nowhere and Riker escapes with practically zero effort. We do get a tiny little twist to this one. With about 25 minutes left in the movie, one of the previously destroyed cyborgs reactivates in Riker's apartment. Why the fuck they left this bastard just lying around in the living room is anyone's guess, but it waits until Darla takes a shower to reboot. Turns out the drug-destroyed circuits have a 6-hour cooldown before they need to kill again. It says it is in great pain and insists that Darla comes back to Inteltrax to help deactivate those circuits while it's not homicidal. She protests, but the bot throws her over its shoulder and marches her back to the lab. At one point, Domina decides it's time to unleash her ultimate creation, a hulking, bandage-covered, growling monstrosity stronger than anything Z has on the line. She peels off the bandages and, oh shit, did she create the bad Deadpool? She also strips down to grind all over her new model like she was Tawny Katane in a Whitesnake video, and then sends it out to find Z. Along the way, Elaine blows up a warehouse full of Euphoron. The reactivated cyborg helps the team bypass security to sneak into Inteltrax. Domina follows her ultimate creation after cramming it full of whatever Euphoron she had left, and we all meet up for a final climactic battle full of spinning kicks, stomps, punches, cyborg testicle kicks, and more than once we're reminded of how effective the future's guns are against these goddamn things. Because as soon as the guns come out, the fight's over. There's a moment during the fight where this happens. Now, I'm just taking a guess here, but I think that was supposed to be the cyborg ripping her jumpsuit open for some fan service. But the choreography is so damn bad, Elaine had to do it herself. Maybe I'm wrong, though. Anyway, all the cyborgs are deactivated, Domina walks away unscathed, Z is set ablaze, and our movie ends with Riker, Elaine, and Johnny doing an incredibly long walk down this dystopian mall. And we don't even roll the credits because this movie doesn't have any. And that's Mutant Hunt. It doesn't have a lot going for it, but if you're a fan of footstep Foley work, then this is your fucking Casablanca. This is a movie I want to dislike a lot more than I do. But I just can't. I actually kind of like this one. It's got a lot working against it. In fact, just about everything in this movie is bad. The acting, the plot, the fighting, the dialogue. But if there's one thing that really pulled it out of the fire, I absolutely adore this fucking puppet. The cyborg, half covered in damaged tissue, carries so much goddamn weight for this movie for me. I'll admit it felt a little overused, but I really cannot blame them for giving this thing as much screen time as possible just because of how awesome it looks. The only real issue I have with it is how much it feels out of place due to being so much higher quality than anything else this movie has for us. Oh, one of these things is not like the other. One of these things just doesn't belong. But while we're on the subject of this movie's technology, I think it's kind of cute how some of the tech is stuff we're actually using today. Specifically the wrist computers and earlobe phones.
What? I'm eating.
Now, I'm not saying Mutant Hunt thought of this stuff first, but they did put them into their vision of the future. I don't know, I just kind of like watching these old movies and seeing them get some things right when guessing what's on the way. As for the cyborg tech itself, I love how the limits are super strength and stretchy arms. They don't run, they're sensitive to light, and they can develop serious drug dependencies that cause their flesh to melt and decay. I just thought it was silly trying to make these slow-moving bastards out to be any kind of serious threat, considering more than once our heroes get away simply because they ran a very short distance and the cyborg just fucking gives up. Mutant Hunt was written and directed by Tim Kincaid, but I covered him in last year's review of Breeders. These two movies were shot back to back, and they do feel a little similar in ways. Most obviously, they both used the same exact song for the opening credits. But while I appreciate Breeders being chock full of naked, slime-covered hotties, I have to give the entertainment factor over to Mutant Hunt. It's the better overall movie between the two. Though that's kind of like saying you're using the cleaner truck stop bathroom. And I'm going to go ahead and make this claim. Mutant Hunt's cover art is the Mega Man of the 80s B movies. Except where Mega Man is still a decent game in spite of the ridiculous box art, Mutant Hunt is still a pretty rough movie. Bottom line, Mutant Hunt isn't a great movie. It's not even a good movie. But I'd be lying if I said I had zero fun with it. The cast and crew tried making a movie way above their ability. But
you gave it your best shot, and that's all Jesus asks of you.
And this one comes off feeling like everyone was having fun making it. And a movie that's basically a group of people having fun making a mess will always get some bonus points from me. So I suppose this movie is the equivalent of a toddler covered in frosting after tearing into their first birthday cake. Enjoy that sugar high while it lasts. Add to all of this the fact that it clocks in at about 77 minutes, and I at least appreciate them not plodding along. This movie doesn't have a lot of welcome, but thankfully it doesn't overstay even that. So with that sickly cyborg session settled, it's time to say sayonara to you sleazebags. And until it's time to trot out the next nauseous nugget, this is your fleshy fashionista Sugar Pants. See you in your dreams.